Alright, so apart from comic books, I'm also a big MMA fan, as you can see. I hope you can't see how dusty this shelf is though, because it's really dusty and gross. But so just quickly, if you're not an MMA fan or UFC sort of fan, this video is probably not for you, so I'll forgive you if you don't watch it. I don't think anyone's going to watch this video, to be honest, before the fights, at least this weekend. But I thought I'd make a UFC video just to get a bit off topic from comic books. And also because the UFC are down in Melbourne, Australia this week, which is where I'm from, for UFC 234. Middleweight Champion Robert Whittaker, one of our own, is defending his title against Kelvin Gastelum. And also up-and-comer Israel Adesanya, who's a Kiwi, is also down here defending, sorry, not defending, but just fighting legendary Anderson Silva, one of my favourites, this guy right here. Firstly, just a bit of a background on my knowledge on MMA. I have been watching the sport for a long time. I first heard about the UFC when I was a kid. Made the talk about the UFC back when I was a kid. It was like, man, people like die in there and stuff. Like, this guy was like, man, I saw this UFC fight, and the guy like jumped up and stomped in his face and killed the guy. And I was like a kid going, what the fuck? I have to see this shit. And then finally, I used to rent videos from this video store once, and they had a sports section, and they had all the early UFCs on VHS, and I was like, whoa! So I ended up watching them, pretty much all of them, all the Hoist Gracie era, like Tank Abbott, Don Fry, all that early stuff. It's fantastic. My favourite fighter of all time is Vitor Belfort. I'll never forget the first time I saw him when he showed up at UFC 12, I think, off the top of my head, when he was in the 4-man tournament. He was a 19-year-old kid, and obviously at the time I was a teenager, so I was just like, this kid's like only a few years older than me, and he was just blitzing everyone. So I've always been a big fan of him. He's my favourite. There he is right there. My second favourite fighter of all time is TRT Tor. Come on, that's funny, right? I don't train in any martial arts. I did train Muay Thai for about 2 years at a place called Hangar 4. Shout out to head trainer Cal Draper. But yeah, that's been about 4 or 5 years since I've done any training, and my body's just been falling apart ever since. So let's talk about the fights. I'll start off with Adesanya versus Silva. I mean, everybody knows Silva's going into this fight as a big underdog, and so he should be. He hasn't looked great for a while. He has flashes of, you know, where he can look good, but overall he hasn't really fought great for quite a long time. The last time he looked good was, I don't know, he looked okay against Diaz. He had his moments in the Bisping fight, but really he hasn't really looked that impressive. I mean, when he beat Derek Brunson, it didn't look great. But Adesanya, on the other hand, has just been like wowing the masses. I did see Adesanya before he fought in the UFC. I saw his fight, I think it may have been the AFC against, it was an old UFC guy. I feel like it was Melvin Gillard, but I just feel like, what was Gillard doing at bloody middleweight? I'm pretty sure it was Melvin Gillard that I watched him beat the crap out of. But he's really impressed me. His debut, I can't remember who he fought in his debut in the UFC, but man, some of the things he was doing were absolutely amazing. To get out of grappling exchanges and stuff, he was just jumping and doing these crazy dives. I've never seen anything like it. His striking is obviously next level. And it's going to be a real test for Silva, who's just, I mean, the guy's like 42, 43 years old now. I'm pretty sure his reflexes aren't the same, and look, he really hasn't been the same since he broke his leg. Look, it's a no-brainer. I feel like Adesanya just has Silva's number. I'll be shocked if Silva can get the win. In saying that, I would love to see Silva just produce some old school magic. I think all long-time fans of MMA always like to root for those old guys. Because, you know, like, man, we remember when he was the man. Like, I remember when he was the man. I remember when Silva fought Belfort, and I was like, come on, Belfort, I want you to win. And then Anderson Silva was just like front kick to the face, and I was like, you can't stop that, can you? Yeah. I think Adesanya, he might not finish Silva, but he probably will. I hope he doesn't. I hope, like, he just beats the crap out of him maybe for 3 rounds, and then, you know, wins a decision. But he may do something spectacular. But look, Silva, I think, still has his wits about him. He could definitely maybe ride it out to a decision, but I'd be very impressed if Silva can get the W. Adesanya for me. Alright, so the main event, Aussie, oi. Robert Whittaker has looked obviously amazing. His last 2 fights against Yoel Romero were he impressed the shit out of me. He's impressed the shit out of me ever since he got to middleweight, because I feel like if you've been following Whittaker for a while, I mean, you're always going to remember him being at welterweight and getting knocked out by Wonderboy Thompson. That's always going to be an image that sticks in your head. So he's looked obviously really good at middleweight. Yeah, like his fights against Jacare Souza, absolutely impressive, and his 2 fights against Romero, amazing. His fight against Derek Brunson was absolutely insane. Kelvin Gastelum, on the other hand, is an absolute beast. I am absolutely shocked that he never became welterweight champion. I know he struggled with the weight and things like that, but it's absolutely shocking that he, I don't know, I thought, was so sure that he was going to become welterweight champion, and then he went to middleweight, and I was like, man, he's not small, like he's a big, thick dude, but he's really short compared to some of the middleweights. I mean, you watch him stand next to like Weidman and Rockhold and guys like that. He's pretty small, but he's just so good at getting inside, and his boxing is really crisp. And my pick for this one is going to be Gastelum. I've been high in that guy's training for a long time. Don't get me wrong, I think Whittaker's absolutely amazing. The only problem is Whittaker gets hit, and I don't think he can probably take, like, if Kelvin lands really clean on him, I think Kelvin's going to actually get the finish on him. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't think it'll be too early, but I don't think it's going to be first round or anything like that. But I definitely think Gastelum's probably going to tag Whittaker, hurt him, and probably maybe finish him with some ground and pound. And that's my prediction. In saying that, just like the Adesanya prediction, I do hope Whittaker wins. I want him to prove me wrong, just for that Aussie pride thing. I'd love to see him win. I did think he won his last fight against Romero. I know a lot of people think that Romero should have won because he got the knockdown, you know, all those knockdowns. But look, a lot of people think Romero should have won because they're thinking, oh, because he got a knockdown, it should be a 10-8. If you're thinking that he should have got a 10-8 for the knockdown, I mean, you're thinking boxing rules, you know what I mean? Like, Whittaker recovered from a lot of those shots and kept coming back, and then, you know, outpointing him again. So for me, like, I really think Whittaker deserved to get the nod in that last fight. I think Kelvin's going to be a little bit too much for Whittaker. Hopefully I'm wrong. He's proved me wrong before. But if you look at his fight against Brunson, I mean, he got tagged quite a few times. He got wobbled by Romero. He gets hit, man. And Kelvin is just, if he hurts you, he's going to jump on you and fuck you up. So that's my prediction for that fight. So I'm predicting the guys who I don't really want to, not that I don't want to win. I'm a big Adesanya fan. I'm a big Gastelum fan, but you know, I'd love Whittaker to win just because he's Aussie, and I would love Silva to win just because, I mean, he is an absolute legend, and it's going to be a sad, sad day when he's not around anymore. So I won't be at the fights this weekend. I did go to, I think Rod Laver is the perfect setting for MMA. I've never watched fights there, but just picturing Rod Laver, I think it'd be the perfect venue for watching fights live. I did go to the Ronda Rousey Holly Holm fight back at Etihad Stadium when they first came to Melbourne, which was just too big a venue. Like, I mean, I had decent seats and I still had trouble seeing. So I won't be there. I'm going to be watching it on the screen at my mate Lockie's house on Foxtel, just so I can actually see what's going on. Last time at Etihad Stadium, I did win money on Holly Holm to knock out Ronda Rousey, and it wasn't just a fluke. You can say it's a fluke, but you know what? Man, I was telling everybody, Holly Holm is going to knock out Ronda Rousey with a head kick. My friend called me up the night before the fights and was like, hey man, should I put a bet on Holly Holm? And I was like, yes, because everyone at the time was like judging Holly Holm on her 2 UFC performances. I think she'd fought twice before she fought Ronda, and everyone was judging her on those performances. But I'd watched majority of Holly's fights before she came to the UFC, and the same pattern every time. She picks chicks apart, and then late in the fight will land that head kick. Whether it be in the 3rd round or if it was a 5-round fight, she might land that head kick in the championship rounds, but she'd pick her opponents apart and land that head kick. So I was telling everyone, hey, she's gonna knock out Ronda Rousey with a head kick, and I won about $270 from that fight. So I'm very happy with that. So I am predicting another upset here. I think Whittaker's probably going to be going in as favourite, especially being in his on his home turf. But I think Gastelum is going to be a really tough challenge for him. I don't think Gastelum's really going to be able to take him down so much. I mean, if Romero struggled to take him down, I think Gastelum's not really going to take him down. I believe Gastelum will just stand up and strike with him, but I do believe Gastelum will catch him. and finish him. So we'll see what happens. I've been wrong before. I mean, I predicted the Holly Holm thing, but I also did say that Kat Zingano was going to be the one to beat Ronda Rousey, and look what happened there, 14 seconds. But hey, Zingano beat herself in that one. So yeah. Anyway, that's my predictions. I don't know how many MMA videos I'm going to make, just because, fuck, if I'm getting fucking hate from comic book fans, I can't imagine what MMA fans will do to me. They'll tear me a new one. Yeah, so they're my predictions for UFC 234. Hopefully someone watches this video before the fights, and if my predictions come true, keep watching my fucking videos, motherfuckers. Till next time.